The door shakes in its frame. They're through in under a minute. Your firearm is locked in the safe, the knife block is in the kitchen, and all you have is a Phillips head screwdriver on the workbench and a heartbeat that won't slow down. But you are not unarmed. You just haven't removed the screw yet. Inside, the most boring, invisible objects in this room is a sharp point, a blunt mass, or a slashing edge waiting to be freed by a single fastener. Most people will die looking for a gun that isn't there. You will pick up a screwdriver and field strip the furniture into a collection of equalizers. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for item 7. The one you are leaning on right now, and when you pull that one screw, it becomes a swinging club that breaks bones. The systemic lie is that a weapon must be manufactured as a weapon. The prepper industry sells you tactical tomahawks and punch daggers, while ignoring the fact that your garage, your broom closet, and your plumbing are a disassembled armory held together by Phillips and flathead screws. A screw is a design choice. It joins a grip to a blade, a handle to a mass. Remove it, and you separate the safe part from the dangerous part. You don't need a black market. You need a screwdriver, and the knowledge of which 7 objects turn lethal the instant the threads release. Item 1. The metal file, the rusty file in your toolbox. The wooden handle is attached by a single screw running through the brass ferrule into the tang. Place the screwdriver tip into that slot and twist. When the handle pulls free, you are not holding a tool. You are holding a long, flat, hardened steel shank with a sharp, tapered point where it once threaded into the wood. That tang is designed to pierce the handle. It will pierce soft tissue just as easily. The file body itself has a square edge that can be ground down to a cutting bevel if you have time. Most people see a file and think about smoothing metal. You see a 2-component field expedient short spear, and the handle is what's left behind. Item 2. The heavy-duty putty knife. The stiff, wide blade caked in old paint. The plastic handle is fixed to it by a single small screw right at the bolster. Back that screw out. The handle falls away, and now you hold a flat, flexible piece of spring steel with a sharp 90-degree corner. That corner can score skin like a draw knife. If you wrap the now exposed tang in tape, cord, or leather, you have a slim puncture tool that slips between ribs. Or simply leave the tang bare and use the wide, flat blade as a slashing edge. The putty knife hanging on the pegboard is a broadhead disguised as a homeowner's chore. Item 3. The metal broom handle. The push broom in the corner. The industrial kind with a threaded metal handle, not a wood stick. The broom head attaches via a single screw that locks the plastic push button or the threaded collar into place. Unscrew that one screw, and the broom head pops free. You now wield a hollow steel or aluminum tube with a sharp threaded metal tip. It's a thrusting weapon. It can strike out to 4 feet in the dark. If the tube is hollow, you can cut the end at an angle with a hacksaw to create a hypodermic point. But even the factory-cut thread, when driven into soft targets, tears and punctures. The broom that swept the floor this morning just became a short spear. Item 4. The wood-handled drywall saw. That awkward tool with the coarse teeth and the cheap wooden handle. The handle is held to the blade by a single screw passing through a drilled hole. Remove the screw. Now the handle comes off, and the blade is a 10-inch length of rigid, sharp-toothed steel with a point. The teeth are aggressive, designed to rip through gypsum. Against an attacker's clothing and skin, they create a ragged wound that is hard to close. But even more useful, the handle itself now becomes a fist load. The small, contoured wooden grip with the screw hole can be palmed, allowing the remaining metal ferrule to protrude from your knuckles like a punch dagger. One screw gave you 2 weapons. Item 5. The cast iron pipe flange. In the plumbing supplies, a heavy flat round disc with a central hole and screw holes, but that flange is often attached to a length of threaded pipe by a single set screw in the side. Back that screw out, and you separate the flange from the pipe. The pipe itself is a heavy, thick-walled steel club with threads on each end that act as impact ridges. Slide a cap on one end or simply use it as is. Even more devastating, the flange itself, palmed and struck, becomes a metal knuckle with a wide, crushing face. The pipe and flange together are a mace and buckler. Apart, they are still lethal, all because of one small set screw. Item 6. The furniture caster. The rolling wheel on the bottom of an old chair or file cabinet. That wheel is held onto its yoke by a single axle screw, often a small hex or Phillips bolt. Remove it, and the wheel comes out of its metal bracket. The bracket that remains is a U-shaped piece of heavy-gauge steel with 2 sharp prongs where it held the wheel. Now, bend one prong straight using a vise or a pair of pliers, and you have a compact, double-ended spike. A caster also has a stem. That stem is a thick, solid metal rod that can be removed from the yoke with the same axle screw. It's a pressure point tool, a glass breaker, or a single-finger striking implement. The rolling office chair just surrendered a pocket-sized puncturing tool in 60 seconds. Item 7. The wooden chair rail. You are sitting on it now. A standard wooden dining chair. Flip it over. The legs are attached to the seat frame with corner blocks, and the entire structure is often reinforced with a single long screw running up through the bottom into the seat. Remove that screw, and the chair back pulls free as one solid piece of wood with a comfortable, ergonomic grip at the top. The legs, if the chair is solid hardwood, can be struck against a wall until the remaining quarter-inch of screw thread snaps. What remains is a club, a heavy, rounded, anatomically perfect bludgeon with the leg tapering down to a narrow striking end. No complicated disassembly, just one critical screw that holds the frame together. The chair you ate dinner on becomes a swinging weapon that can fracture bone. A dining set for 4 is an armory for 8. Here is the reality. The weapon industry will never sell you. An armed intruder enters your home, and you do not have time to open a safe. But you have a screwdriver in the utility drawer and a house full of potential. Every common tool, every piece of furniture, every plumbing fixture is a weapon in stasis, waiting for you to remove the one screw that civilizes it. The file, the putty knife, the broom, the drywall saw, the pipe flange, the caster, the chair. Their lethality is hidden by convention, not by physics. Most people will panic and search for a kitchen knife they cannot reach. You will unscrew the safety from the ordinary and stand your ground with the objects that built the room. Now drop a comment and tell me this. What is the heaviest thing in the room you're sitting in, and how many screws hold it together? Could you field strip it with a screwdriver in your junk drawer? Write the object in the comments, then find its one critical screw. And in the next video, we are going deeper into the improvised arsenal. The 3 knots that turn any cord, belt, or torn sheet into a gravity-powered weapon that generates more force than a baseball bat. I'll see you there.